Now that you have your core values established, you can be led by your internal compass and not swayed by external forces. Remember, adaptability is essential to all things, and living from the inside out is an approach that will allow you to be flexible without sacrificing who you want to be and what your desired outcomes are. Here on day 3, we're going to talk about how a genius frames the future. Let's get started. So how does a genius frame the future? One word: vision. I know that vision is a buzzword and a lot of people talk about it and the need for it, but in my opinion, most people have confused having a concept versus having a vision. You see, a concept is a part of having a vision, but it is not a vision because a concept is general while vision is specific. Too many people live with ideas of what they want to happen or who they want to be, but never form it into a vision. So what's the difference? The difference is limits. When you narrow a concept into a vision, you are limiting many ways into a single way. Robert Fritz said it this way: all vision is concept, but not all concepts are vision. In order to move from concept to vision, from general to specific, there must be limits put in place. Now, I don't want you to think of limits as a negative asset, but as the frames for your future. Let me explain. Everything in life is framed structurally. If it was not, there would be no order in life. The way our brains work, we don't walk around thinking about the structures in life, unless maybe you're a doctor and then you may think about the human body and its structures daily. The key to thinking structurally is knowing that all parts work together to make the desired outcome become a reality. Robert Fritz is again helpful when he uses the illustration of drinking water. Now stay with me through this illustration. You think structurally whenever you go to fill a glass of water or fill a glass with water. The elements of the structure are the glass, the water, the faucet, controlling that flow of water, how much water you want to be in the glass, and how much water is already in the glass. You fill a glass with water with the goal of putting a desired amount in there. So, with the awareness of the current situation being how much water is presently in the glass, maybe none, maybe a little, if there is less water in the glass than your amount you desire, there will be a discrepancy in the system. You lessen this discrepancy by adding water, which you do by controlling the faucet. As the current amount of water approaches the desired amount of water, you close the faucet by degrees, slowing the flow of water and stopping the entire process when the present amount of water is the same as the desired amount of water, thus ending the discrepancy. Filling a glass with water may only take seconds, but within that time frame, a structural system is in play involving all those elements within the system. And everything has to do with the structural system that is in place. So here's the major takeaway. Structure determines behavior. If the structure, aka the frame of your vision, is off, you will never see your desired outcomes because your behavior will always match the structure you have put in place. So how do we form good structure? You need to put these 4 pillars in place. In my doctoral dissertation, I argued that leadership should include a theological and ontological framework. In simple terms, it must include a power outside of us, but also our way of being. No matter your spiritual framework, we are all led by something or someone outside of ourselves, but leading isn't just something we do, it's fundamental to who we are. For the practical part of my dissertation work, I used Robert and Ryan Quinn's fundamental state of leadership. Without getting too technical and academic, at a basic and fundamental level, human beings function in what we call psychological states. Robert Quinn who's one of the leading leadership gurus and teachers at the University of Michigan, says this: in regards to psychological states in general, they depend upon the situation present to the person, and they can be revealed in simple expressions of joy in a moment or in a complex mix of emotions and moods. The pertinent fact here is that our psychological states influence other people and their psychological states influence us. Why? Because we're all relational beings. Our psychological states are the sum of who we are at a given moment as we play out the stories of our lives in relations to others. What does this have to do with vision? Everything. Because your psychological state is the framework, the structure that you are operating out of in any given moment. So, in order to move into the optimal psychological state, you need to ask yourself the right 4 questions that lead to a shift. And these 4 questions, which are the 4 pillars that are scientifically proven to help you shift into a more creative state, which leads to behaving in the ways that lead to your desired outcomes, are these. So here are the 4 questions, and here are their desired effects as well. Question number 1, what results do I want to create? When you ask yourself this question, you become less comfort-centered and more purpose-centered. Question number 2, what would my story be if I were living the values I expect of others? When you answer this question, you become less externally directed and more internally directed. Question number 3, how do others feel about the situation? When people answer this question, they become less self-focused and more others-focused. A little side note right there. We are all driven by, or better said, shaped by the community around us. We play a part in that community and others play a part in that community. And when you ask yourself this question, you are allowing your community and your effects and their effects to become a part of your vision, because you ultimately always affect the community that you're a part of. Question number 4, what are 3 or more strategies I could try in learning how to accomplish my purpose? When people answer this question, they become less internally closed and more externally open. All right, so those are the 4 pillars, questions that you need to structure your vision in order to frame your future. If you haven't figured it out yet, answering these questions is your genius work for today. You can apply these 4 questions to a specific goal or target, or use them to first frame your life work and then narrow down from there. You will also see some additional resources in the Facebook group, which include these questions. So go get started on your genius work, and I'll see you in the next session.